Okay. The first type of factoring that you learn is greatest common factoring, or as I like to call it, or most people like to call it, GCF, greatest common factor. Um, Actually, what I really like to call it is undistributing. That's an Aprilism. I made that up myself. Um, let's review the distributive property. Let's say you have 3, and then in parentheses you have 2x plus 5. When you distribute the 3, you multiply 3 times the 2x. That would be 6x. Then you go back and get the 3, and you distribute it to the 5. And 3 times 5 is 15. And that gives you your answer. All right? When you are asked to factor out a greatest common factor, you're actually starting with the 6x plus 15. And you're going to put parentheses back into the problem. So you're going to look at both terms. You've got 2 terms, the 6x here and the 15 there. And you have to figure out, well, what do they have in common? But what you want is the greatest thing they have in common. Well, 6 and 15, I can divide both of them by 3, and that's it. And then the 6x has an x, but the 15 doesn't, so I can only factor out a 3. I cannot factor out any variables. So I'm going to pull the 3 out. That's why they call it factoring out a greatest common factor. And then you put the parentheses back down. And then basically in your head, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to take this 6x and I'm going to divide it by the 3, and that's what's going to go right here. 6x divided by 3 is 2x. But you're also going to take the 15 and divide it by 3. And 15 divided by 3 is 5, and then I put the answer, the plus sign down, and then that's my factored answer. So when you're looking at this, when you are asked to distribute, you start with something that has parentheses in it, and then you finish without the parentheses. Whereas when you're factoring, you start with something without parentheses, and then you finish by putting the parentheses back in. You're just putting your brain in reverse. That's it. Now I'll do some more videos of things that are just a little bit more complicated, but this is my basic how to factor out a greatest common factor and kind of explain it.